Imagine someone is constantly pissing you off by talking about themselves for hours on end without even asking how you are or what you have been up to. This person is constantly seeking attention and validation from others, often at the expense of their relationships and the well-being of those around them. Sound familiar? This is a classic example of someone with narcissistic traits. This video will dig into the psychology of narcissism, exploring its causes, characteristics, and potential impacts on both the individual and those around them. So subscribe to the channel to get started. What is narcissism? Narcissism is a personality trait characterized by an excessive sense of self-importance, grandiosity, and a constant need for admiration and attention. It is named after the Greek mythological character Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection in the water. People with narcissistic traits often have an inflated sense of self-worth and believe that they are superior to others. They may also have an exaggerated sense of entitlement and expect special treatment from others. This can lead to a lack of empathy and disregard for the feelings and needs of those around them. Psychology behind narcissism. Undeniably, there's a significant distinction between someone suffering from narcissistic personality disorder and someone who merely exhibits narcissistic behaviors, and the major differentiating factor lies in the intention. To truly grasp narcissism, we must delve into its psychology. Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, is but one of many personality disorders. It's essentially a mental state where individuals have an exaggerated perception of their own importance, coupled with a profound craving for attention and admiration. This often leads to problematic relationships. Despite its outward manifestation, narcissists lack empathy, and their display of narcissism often conceals their extremely delicate self-esteem. Hallmarks of NPD include an excessive sense of self-importance, a feeling of entitlement, a constant need for admiration, a tendency to view oneself as superior, and a propensity to dominate conversations and diminish others' contributions. They are often quick to envy others, believe others are envious of them, demonstrate arrogance, and tend to brag or be pretentious. They may also insist on having the best of everything, as manifest in their possessions, even when they clearly can't afford them. Narcissism, at its core, is an excessive self-interest or self-admiration. It's entirely feasible to be narcissistic without suffering from NPD. However, the distinction lies in the intensity. In the case of NPD, the traits and symptoms are so severe that they interfere with personal relationships, jobs, and overall life. Psychology says that a person with NPD often intentionally creates toxic environments and damaging relationships to exploit others for their own benefit. An individual with NPD may often lie or exaggerate to make themselves look good at the expense of others, manipulate situations for personal gain, and even spread negative emotions to bolster their own self-esteem. Although it may seem like narcissism is widespread, only about 1% of the population is affected by narcissistic personality disorder. Like most other mental health conditions, narcissism is best understood as a spectrum. Extroversion versus dominance. The more severe variety of narcissism is known as grandiose narcissism. This is likely the type you're more familiar with. People with this trait are extroverted, love to be in control, and are constantly seeking attention. You often see grandiose narcissists in high-profile roles like politicians, celebrities, and cultural influencers. That doesn't mean everyone in these roles is a narcissist, though. Many people strive for these roles out of a sincere desire to reach their personal best or to make a positive impact on the world. However, narcissistic individuals are more interested in the prestige and attention these roles attract. On the other hand, we have vulnerable narcissists, who are typically quieter and more reserved. They possess a strong sense of entitlement but can easily feel threatened or slighted. But no matter how you slice it, the negative aspects of narcissism tend to emerge over time. Narcissists tend to think only of themselves, so it's not uncommon for narcissistic leaders to make risky or unethical choices, or for narcissistic partners to be unfaithful or dishonest. And if their inflated self-image is ever challenged, narcissists can become grumpy and combative. In fact, it's often said that narcissism is like a disease where the one suffering feels great, but the people around them are left to deal with the fallout. In extreme cases, this behavior can be diagnosed as a mental health disorder known as narcissistic personality disorder. This condition affects about 1 to 2% of the population and is more common in men. It's only diagnosed in adults though, as kids and young people can be quite self-centered. But this could just be a normal part of growing up. 2 classical signs. Someone is narcissistic. Now, let's discuss the 2 most common signs that someone may have narcissistic traits. Keep in mind that not all of these behaviors necessarily indicate a diagnosis of NPD, but they could be red flags to watch out for. Highly sensitive to criticism. Recall the previous discussion about narcissists and their behavioral traits. They exhibit a superiority complex and hold themselves in unduly high esteem. This attitude can also lead to hypersensitivity to any form of criticism. This hypersensitivity is particularly pronounced in introverted narcissists. You see, as introverts, they often internalize their feelings more than their extrovert counterparts. This makes them more susceptible to negative feedback. There could be many reasons why someone is overly sensitive to criticism. Some could be naturally sensitive individuals, and some could be battling low self-esteem. But for narcissists, the reason is uniquely associated with their self-perception. In a narcissist's mind, any criticism threatens the flawless and idealized image they have nurtured of themselves. They struggle a great deal with accepting that they, like everyone else, also have flaws and can make mistakes. It's this inability to reconcile with their imperfections that makes them particularly sensitive to criticism. Show passive aggressiveness. Do you have someone in your circles, a friend, a family member, or perhaps a colleague, who tends to act in a passive-aggressive manner to maneuver things their way? These are the telltale signs of a covert narcissist. Such individuals are not direct in their approach. They are incapable of accepting a no, but instead of confronting you directly, they prefer to paint you as the villain. How do they do this? They don't resort to an outright confrontation. Instead, they might give you the cold shoulder, throw in some backhanded compliments your way, or even grace you with their under-the-breath criticisms. All along, they'll vehemently assure you that there's absolutely nothing wrong and that they're absolutely not upset with you. This unusual behavior links back to their unrealistic sense of entitlement. They act as if the world owes them special treatment, yet they never come out and ask for it openly. Looking out for such traits might help you identify the covert narcissists surrounding you and better manage your interactions with them. That's a wrap. If you want a detailed video about all the signs of narcissism, both overt and covert, and the common things narcissists say, let us know in the comments box. We'll make more videos for you. If you liked this video and found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.